So here we go.
15 love. First service.
So Johann, Kriek really seeing that ball right onto the middle of the racket. Lovely firm return.
$30-15.
So a second lovely return from Kriek. In spite of this young man's second service, which many of the players here would regard as good enough for them as a first serve. Very well. So there we see an example of one of the great strengths of Johann Kriek. Very, very fast about the court. The Becker volley was a good one, but not good enough against Kriek. And of course the net cord was rather distressing for the German. Break point.
Deuce. Advantage Becker.
That's a great return.
Deuce.
Kriek taking that ball right on top of the rise. In fact, the ball hadn't got to its peak. But this young German, not merely a great server, he's a very fine first volleyer, and his uninhibited strength and power around the court, really quite remarkable. Deuce.
Advantage Becker.
So ace number one. Kriek is really anticipating the direction of the German service. He really is.
Advantage Becker.
Hard opening game this. They've had 3 deuces. It's a great serve.
Game to Becker. First game.
But John, I don't think we're going to have many long rallies in this match.
Well, they're both forthright hitters, aren't they? And both playing particularly well now, having had these few days on grass to get used to the pace and the bounce. Let's just see how this young man, 17 years old, got to this final. There it is. He beat a couple of Americans in the first round. 2 tie-break sets involved there. And in the third round, he dropped to another American, the only set he has dropped here. The middle one against David Pate, who is incidentally seeded number 8. Then that match against Pat Cash, it was the second single for Cash that day, who admittedly had something of a problem with his back, but that was a terrific win, that 6-4, 6-4 match. And then in the semi-final yesterday, as many of you will have seen with us here on Saturday, grandstand 6-1, 6-4. That was a splendid performance that caused McNamee to praise the young man for his power and suggest that he could soon get into the top 5 in the world. Johann Kriek's progress to the final. He beat Tom Kane of America in the first round, Marco Ostroyer of Yugoslavia, Ramesh Krishnan of India, the 12th seed, Russell Simpson of New Zealand, and the other member of the Yugoslav Davis Cup team, Slobodan Zivojinovic, 6-4, 6-4. So Kriek, love one.
Love.
Half volley winner there from a real pressure position. Kriek winning the point.
Love. Love.
So 2 absolutely astonishing shots from Kriek in this match. That first half volley on the baseline and the half volley in the middle of the court. Really splendid play.
Out. 14-15. Game to Kriek. One game all.
So Kriek, a man given to moods, but a very severe competitor, playing some lovely shots there under severe pressure. A man of tremendous strength and speed of movement and strong movement too. One game all. First set in this best of 3 set final.
love 15.
A very ambitious second server, Boris Becker.
Love 30.
Out.
15-30.
Well, there's plenty of side run there, but Kriek gets off the mark so quickly that, and with such thrust, that he was just overhanging the guarding rail there. Well, now, Kriek not at all happy about that. Thought it was a fort, but not given.
I think Jeremy Shales was quite sure that it had hit the line. Certainly was not a clear mistake, the only time when the umpire is supposed to overrule a decision.
$40-30.
Ace number 3.
Game to Becker. Becker leads by 2-1. First set.
And tremendous serving from young Becker, getting himself out of a spot of bother there, just like he did yesterday. And he has the ability to produce these big serves when they're wanted. Very like a man who we mourn the loss of recently, Michael Sangster, who died about a month ago, but he had this tremendous facility for serving fast and serving winners when you needed them. And Boris Becker doesn't know it, but his parents are here. There they are, in the middle of your picture there. His mother and father have flown over, unannounced, and his coach, Johann, didn't want him to know about their arrival till afterwards. It's also a royal occasion here. Her Royal Highness Duchess of Gloucester is a visitor, and we also have His Majesty the King of the Hellenes with us. I'm sure they're enjoying the performance of this young German player as much as we all have this week.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Seems so composed for a lad of 17 and a half. Kriek 1-2.
$30 love.
Net.
So a double fault from each man so far.
40-15.
Johann Kriek on the forehand, not the sort of man to let an open court go unpunished. So Kriek is also a server of class, not with the blistering power of his opponent, but a very intelligent server, and has got a lot of speed indeed on his first service. So no breaks of service so far, 2-all first set.
Boris Becker continuing to serve well. He served 5 aces already, and as many as he served in the entire match yesterday against Paul McNamee. And in fact, it's an area of his game that Johann, his manager, has been working on with the coach who's here with him today, Gunter Bosch. But Tyriak was saying that after Paris, he had a word with him about serving other than kick serves. He likes to serve the kick serve. There's Gunter Bosch sitting with Johann Tyriak. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, the one on the left is Johann Tyriak of Romania. But apparently he prefers to serve this kick serve, but Johann quite rightly told him that on grass he would need to serve flat and slice serves. And he has been doing that to great effect this week. And the point is, he doesn't have to force. The power comes quite naturally with the timing. It's a beautifully produced action. And it is a formidable weapon, as good as any in the game, I would say, at the moment, except McEnroe. 2-3.
Love 15. Love 30.
Fine return of service. The serve wasn't quite to a length, but it was a very good one. Lovely topspin back in return.
Oh!
Love 40. Pick it up, please. Thank you. $15.40.
Backhand slice from Becker out on the 10th stroke of the rally. And that's a rally I didn't expect to see of even that length today. 15.40.
$30.40. First service. Deuce.
Becker perhaps attempting providence there, came in on a backhand slice approach that really didn't give him a chance to get to the net and get composed. Paid the penalty, it's deuce.
Advantage Becker.
Double fault number 3, and it gives the German break point. His 4th in this game.
Deuce.
Kriek taking his time here. 2-3 deuce, first set.
Advantage Becker.
And I just wonder if Kriek had lobbed Mr. Becker then, what would have happened? He was coming in like an express train, and he really was quite lobbable then.
Becker leads by 4 games to 2, first set.
So Becker, the first to come through with the break of service, and I think Kriek there, once or twice staying back on the serve. He was man varying his tactical play on the service, but he paid the penalty, I think, for not coming in. 4-2. Nice.
15 love.
6'1½", Becker, and moving like an absolute first-class athlete to play that really fantastic forehand cross-court volley.
Love.
And really for the first time in the match, the sun shining quite brilliantly, no?
30-15.
A little bit clumsy on his feet there. I think he was struggling a bit. Not quite in balance when he played that shoulder-high volley. A little unlucky.
40-15.
Well, he was a little unlucky there. He took the ball on the rise and he perched past Becker. Only missed by a couple of inches.
No.
First service. Game to Becker. New balls, please. Becker leads by 5-2, first set.
Well, John, that really was the perfect ace, wasn't it? Full of power, and it couldn't have been more accurate. Absolutely beautifully produced.
Well, I'm sure that Johann will be chuckling to himself because that was the sliced serve that he was looking for, and so effective on this fast surface. And Becker was the national junior champion of his country for 3 years, 82 to 84, the under-16s finalist in the Orange Bowl in 83, and the finalist last year of the US Open Junior Championship. And last year at Wimbledon, many of you may have seen him playing Bill Scanlon on the outside court, where 2 sets to 1 down, Scanlon 1-2 in the fourth. This boy fell over very badly and virtually broke his ankle. It didn't break a bone, but it tore the ligaments. They had to be stitched back on again. And it led to a 3-month layoff. He came back in Australia, reached the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, beating Tim Mayotte and serving 16 aces on the way. And then played in Sydney, where he lost in the first round. And they were
Please. Thank you.
3 grass courts tournaments he played before Beckenham this year. New balls, Kriek 2-5.
Love.
You won't get much faster than that. Fine service and such speed coming into the net. The South African, or former South African rather, Kriek just looking up at the sun, just serving right into the sun.
15 all.
It was from that end yesterday, Dan, that Paul McNamee had such trouble with the sun. In fact, it really disturbed his entire approach to the match.
Yes. 30-15.
Second ace from Kriek.
Wait, please. Thank you.
Oh!
30 all.
Out.
30-40.
So set point for Boris Becker.
Thought it was a let, I think, that serve. He's talking to the let court judge there, who couldn't be in a better position to hear or feel. You can see he just keeps his fingers on the touch of the net.
Set point.
And he let court.
Yes.
So that was Becker's first set. You're watching the Stella Artois final, which took place at Queen's 8 days ago, and you're watching it because I'm afraid there's still no play here at Wimbledon. Let me just take you outside and have a look around. And Not the brightest scene you've ever seen, but we've been on to the Met Office, and the news isn't too bad at all. They expect the rain to continue for a short while, but brighter weather is certainly on the way, they tell us. And in fact, they do even say that a fine evening is expected. So there you are. Well, let's take you back to tennis again, that final at Queen's 8 days ago. Becker versus Kriek. Becker's won the first set, as you know. Let's join it at the start of the second. It's Becker to serve.
Love.
Well, exciting, spectacular tennis, I must say.
Love.
And this crowd absolutely enthralled by this man's play. 17.5 and playing a love volley under pressure that years ago the only man I ever saw do it was the legendary Henri Cochet, one of the great French musketeers. Extraordinary.
Oh!
Second service. Love. Becker. First game, second set. First set to Becker.
And Kriek is really having a problem here today. He's twice won the Australian Championship, 1981 and 82, so he knows how to play on grass. But he doesn't know how to return this man's serve. Because Boris Becker is certainly playing with great composure today. And there was a point in the course of that last game. It was 15-love at the time. Beautiful service action, carrying him naturally forward. But the return is good, and he has to contrive a half volley, which he controls to perfection. And moves again in towards the centre of the court on the net, waiting to see which way his opponent will go. He got it right and tried the most beautiful little delicate stop volley across the court. It was almost good enough. It would have been against most players, but Kriek is so fast that he was able to get there, and it forces Becker to rush across and play this wonderfully controlled lob volley on the backhand, which, as Dan Maskell said, had the touch of a Cochet about it. And Kriek was a little unlucky. He went as he went to push off, he slipped a little. I think he might have got that back had he not slipped on the still sappy grass in the areas where they haven't been doing much
Kriek
running
to serve,
near the net there.
please.
But Kriek, I think, is looking a little bit bemused to me. The clues are the double faults he's serving and the missed volleys.
15-love. Love.
Well, John Barrett was saying, Mr. Kriek perhaps a little bemused. He wasn't sure which side to serve from then.
40 love. Wait, please. Thank you. Game to Kriek. One game all, second set.
And I think Kriek will be rather glad to have got away with the love service game there. Last two service games have been broken. 1-1, second set.
Love.
It's the 8th ace.
Out.
30 love. Love. Game to Becker. Becker leads by 2 games to 1 second set, and by 1 set to love.
So the 3 games in this second set have all been service games to love. Just ask John Barrett a question here. John, I'm a bit surprised, really, that Kriek, a man of his experience, had the experience yesterday of playing against the Yugoslavian, Jovanovic. And some people think that his service is as better, more powerful than the man he's playing today. Yet he blocked and returned the serve very well yesterday and won in 2 sets.
Yes, I don't agree with those people who think that Jovanovic has as good a serve as Becker. I don't think it is. It's fast, it's very fast, but it doesn't have variety. And he doesn't have the ability to swing it out as wide as Becker can on that lovely slice. I think it's the brute force, as it were, of the serve that is impressive with Zivo. Becker, to me, is a player who is suddenly beginning to realize what powers are within him. Tiriac tells us that he's a very difficult young man to handle, that he's very ambitious, and he works very hard. In fact, after he beat McNamee yesterday, he went out on the practice court, which is impressive. And he's really playing well now.
Love 15.
Oh.
Love 30.
Finding the grass a trifle slippery, although it's had a pounding this week. They've been playing on the centre court from 10:30 in the morning, about 7 or 8 at night.
First service.
I must say it was a rather cheeky shot that Becker attempted to go in a half volley from about 2 yards inside his baseline.
All.
Absolutely right tactics, though, Dan, with his opponent not following his serve in. It's an invitation to get to the net first.
30 all.
(40-30). Game to Kriek. Two games all, second set.
There's a familiar face, a tennis fan, obviously. Ian McGregor, the chairman of the Colborne, probably enjoying a more relaxing time here than he did during the winter. So, Becker, having rather squandered that chance at love 30 on Kriek's serve, 2 all.
First service.
The other end.
(15 love). (30 love).
That's a great return.
(30-15).
Very strong second service again, perhaps just missing the real length. But a fine return by the former South African Kriek. 3 years now, an American citizen.
(40-15).
Really is extraordinary how this young fellow Boris Becker gets his volley away first time. He was at full stretch there. He was just below shoulder height. Sort of volleys that McEnroe puts away first time so well. 40-15.
(40-30).
Kriek standing inside the baseline there to take that second serve. Will he move forward and threaten it again? Yes, he did.
Deuce.
Interesting how he moved forward about 1.5 feet and just outside the baseline to take it. Makes all the difference, that split second earlier ball.
First time that Becker's been taken to deuce since the opening game of the match.
Becker.
He's reached double figures with his aces, 10. Well, that's the second service on. It's called... No, it's called fault.
It was too late, come on. Late call. No.
Jeremy Shales there confirming the linesman's late call. It was a late call, but a correct one, I think, at the overrule. Or rather, it wasn't an overrule because it was the linesman himself who called late. Confirmation by Jeremy Shales. There's the gentleman who decided it was a fault. Deuce.
Advantage Becker. Game to Becker. Becker leads by 3 games to 2 in the second set. First set to Becker.
As Dan Maskell has told you, this is a very experienced man, Johann Kriek, at the age of 25. He's been in, or rather, this is his 23rd Grand Prix final. He's won 14 of them, and yet he can make neither head nor tail of the Becker service. And what a fine performance that was. Only the second time he's been taken to deuce in the match, and he made 2 aces to get himself out of trouble. Here's a beautiful serve volley technique. He comes in well balanced, punches the racket head into the ball, and there's absolutely no way that's ever going to come back. Admittedly, the return a little bit high thanks to a fine first serve again, but that's a classic example of how the serving volleyer should prepare himself. He steadied himself on the tee area of the service court, and then the punch as he moves all his weight forward into the ball. So Kriek still hasn't solved the riddle of the Becker serve. He's 2-3.
15 love.
I wouldn't have thought there was any doubt about the accuracy of the service there.
All.
No.
30-15. $40-15. 40-30.
Well, we're seeing the whole range of the Becker repertoire. A lovely backhand drop shot there.
Game to Kriek. Three games all, second set.
So really, this is a big game for both men. 3-all in the second set, and one feels that Kriek now, with all his experience, might find a way of handling this return of serve.
Out! 15 love.
Stay out!
That's a really tremendous backhand return by Kriek there.
15 all.
Absolutely lovely. That delicate cross-court dipping shot. Nevertheless, Becker still managed to get a racket to it. Not the easiest ball to play, the high ball over your backhand side, but Becker, with 6'1½", playing it very powerfully. Really superb athleticism there. Becker taking 3 volleys before he got it away, but recovering from awkward positions each time. Only a really good athlete with strong legs could do. 40-15.
Game to Becker. Becker leads by 4-3, second set, and by 1 set to love.
So still, no way through that Becker serve for Kriek, who has already won a tournament this year in Las Vegas. Won him $80,000, incidentally, that one win. But this is the first final for young Becker, who's playing it as if he'd been in finals all his life. And let's take a look at the way he prepares. This beautiful service action, all the weight being thrown into that racket head as it meets the ball. And the beautiful balance here, as he has to play that very awkward low first volley, moves correctly into the center of the court to see which way his opponent's going, and has to lunge very fast to his right and just drops it short. Knows that the ball is likely to come back and it must surely go cross-court, and he correctly anticipates that and is there to make a kill. In fact, the ball was going out.
Time.
He couldn't quite judge that, but he did right to kill it because it was a relatively easy kill. His opponent had slipped a little and left a big gap. He is a fine athlete, this young man, and in fact was a very good soccer player as a youth.
Quiet,
And
please.
it was between soccer and tennis that he had to decide, and fortunately for all of us, he chose tennis. Kriek, 3-4.
Out. 15 love. All.
Certainly can't afford to serve double faults at this stage of the match. That's his 5th.
Oh!
$15.30. $15.40.
And that truly superb play by Becker gives him 2 break points.
$30.40.
Citing victory perhaps too soon, the young man. Over-rushing the forehand return there. Well played.
Deuce.
And Kriek showing how to deal with the high ball over the left-hand side of the body. Lovely high backhand volley there.
Out! No! Stop that!
The ball was good. The ball was good.
It's been overruled by Jeremy Shales. And
It was heavy chalk.
Kriek is showing us that if you jump behind the line, you get dust. But the overrule is...
This guy's at the nearest side of the line. Ball comes down slowly.
Overruled. The ball was good.
Well, of course, inevitably the crowd begin to take apart.
No!
Now he's going to play a left.
The ball was really good, okay? Yeah, and you said my point. Yeah, you say my point. You said.
I said the ball was good.
Yeah.
Reserve the point. First service, please. First service, please.
No,
Jeremy Shales, one of the 2 professional umpires now employed by the Men's International Professional Tennis Council. The other is Richard Kaufman of the United States. They're going to play...
Let's play, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're going to play left. It's still deuce.
Three, 4 deuce.
Advantage, Kriek. Deuce.
A somewhat indecisive attempt at the backhand half volley by the server. Really didn't get down to it properly. It's out.
Advantage Becker.
So that rather wild backhand approach shot gives Becker his third break point in this game.
Deuce.
While this really very important game goes on, they've been playing for just about 63 minutes.
Advantage Kriek.
Really great play by Kriek there.
Deuce.
This really is a tough game. They've had 4 deuces, and the score is 3-4.
Advantage Becker.
Once again, the athleticism of the German coming to his aid there, but also beautiful racket control. Break point.
Game to Becker. New balls, please. New balls, please. Becker leads 5 games to 3, second set.
So a real task now for Kriek. He's got to break the serve. He hasn't done so in the match so far.
Dan, what a price he's paid for staying back at the baseline on his serve. He was obviously intimidated by the blinding returns of Becker, but if he stays back, there's only one final outcome.
Well, now we'll see if this young man has a cool head as well as a truly brilliant game.
Love. Code violation.
Well,
Abuse of court. Warning Mr. Kriek.
code violation for abuse of court, swishing away at the court surface and disturbing it, and very correctly the umpire has given a warning. 15 love.
Love.
In fact, Kriek was fined, I'm reminded, for ungentlemanly conduct yesterday, Dan.
Oh, yes.
Love.
So those 3 big services have brought Becker to match point. 3 match points.
Yeah!
And Morris.
The 17-year-old Boris Becker won that final at Queen's only 8 days ago, and he served notice there and then that he was going to be a very dangerous man here on grass at Wimbledon. In fact, he's unseeded, so he's one of what they call the dangerous floaters in the draw, and he's due to